Hello, Sculpture 1 students. Mr. Shaver is here to show you the next part of me building the dragon head that I've been working on. I've got all the pieces put together. I've got everything I want on here. I attached those things from the last video. I've added a few more horns to the side and underneath here. And so what I've started doing, and you can tell on the top, is I've started paper macheing it. The reason you want to do this, especially with this type of building, with the cardboard and the paper and stuff, is I could try to paint this, or I could just try to prime it, but it might not smooth out all the bumps. The textures of the tape and the duct tape and the aluminum foil and all that's going to be a little bit different. But if I can coat it with the paper mache, it gives me one texture all the way through that I can paint on and then put gesso on. It also kind of solidifies the whole piece. It makes it a little bit harder, a little bit stronger, a little bit more robust and less likely to break. So I have some paper mache glue gel here in this cup. Now I'm just using this Elmer's art paste stuff. It's not a wheat paste that's going to get gross and sour and mold up or whatever. It actually lasts a really long time. So I make it in big jugs. And then I have newsprint here that's ready to go. Newsprint is a lighter paper, so it's going to use the glue and sit down a lot flatter. You might have to do more than one layer, so if I look at like the area in here where there's some wrinkles and stuff, I'm probably going to put another layer on that to kind of let it sit a little more flat. But what you want to do with the newsprint is you want to tear a bunch of pieces ahead of time. All right, otherwise you're trying to tear all these pieces with glue on your hands. It's not as great. It depends on what side you're doing. You do not want to tear like big old pieces like this and try and get them to sit flat. You're going to get a bunch of wrinkles and stuff that you're not going to like later. It's better to have strips like this. You can even tear these in half. And you want to tear them as opposed to cut them, because you can see this little frayed edge here where it's a little bit lighter. You want that because it's going to sit down smoother when you put it on your piece. All right, so here's all you got to do. And I'm going to dip my camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, here's all you got to do. You have the glue in here. I'm going to dip the paper in it. I'm going to squeegee the rest of the glue off that I don't need, so I have a nice layer of glue on here. All right, and then I'm going to start laying it down on my piece. All right, and then you can lay it down, smooth it out, and then spread some of that glue out, and then you can do that with another piece. All right, so it's just kind of repetitive. Like I said, you might have to go over your piece, your layers, one time, two times, depending on what you're doing. But it's really going to give you a nice finish to the piece. And then, like I said, you can use a gesso and go back over it. So tear a bunch of pieces ahead of time, dip it in. And look, this glue is water soluble, all right? I know a lot of people do not like how it feels, but it is just Elmer's glue, and it will come off your clothes, it'll come off your hands. It's just easier to work with than the other stuff. All right, so I'm going to do that all through here. I'm going to tear smaller pieces for some of these areas, but that is kind of what I'm doing for this project. That is the next step. There's not a lot to explain with doing this, so it's a short video, but that's what I'm doing. So hopefully I'll have a lot more done next time I make a video. Bye.